Now time to get back into My Money Story with Clem.
Well, we continue with hashtag My Money Story here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, sitting down with chef and food stylist Clem Pedro, also our certified financial planner Grant van Zyl, here at the ready to give some advice. Clem, lovely to have you joining us this morning, my friend. Just to reiterate what you said earlier on, you told such an interesting story, you know, just your first and your earliest memory of money where most youngsters were obsessed about buying the U magazine for the interesting little jokes that's in there or the centre page spread. You went after the ingredients lists and the recipes, and that's what you did, buying those. Very, very interesting.
My mother-in-law would love you, by the way.
Is it?
I think she does, actually.
We could swap recipes.
She wants your signature.
There we go.
Well, you guys can get a selfie later. Let's enter. So you've mentioned one of the biggest things that you've learned so far, obviously, save for a rainy day. These kind of life things happen at the times where you don't or least expect it. But what would you say currently in your situation where you are right now, what are some of the questions that you still have around money?
Looking to be a first-time homeowner, going through the process of viewing properties, dealing with the agents. It's a lot to deal with. My question is, where do you start and when do you start preparing for it?
Yeah. Well, to go back to your earlier question with your advice on saving for a rainy day, it's the same thing. Yeah, you can't start too early, you know, at the end of the day. But I think when it comes to property, a lot of people set themselves up for failure. So what they do is they start looking at property that is way out of their league and it costs far too much. So the place where I would recommend to start is look at your budget. What can you afford on a monthly basis once you've got your retirement planning and all that sorted out? And let's say you've got 10,000 Rand left in a month in your budget. That means you can afford a bond of about R1 million. So then you've got a reference point to go start looking at properties for R1 million. And then the other thing is start now getting ready for a deposit on a house, because most banks won't give you a 100% bond. So you're going to have a deposit of a good 10 to 20% to put down on the house. So if it's R1 million, you need 100 to 200,000 Rand to put down on the house. If you are going to be transferring a R1 million house, your bond registration plus transfer costs is most probably going to be another 50 to 60,000 Rand. So there you want to make sure you have that money available as well, because if you bond it, you're paying 60,000 Rand over 20 years. So it's going to be the equivalent of maybe 300,000 Rand that you're paying for those costs. So going back to your first question, start at what can you afford? And once you understand that, then you have a reference point on what to start doing research on. And then when you get to the point where you start doing research, you want to find a house that's worth R1 million, but you want to buy it for 700,000 Rand. No. So you get a discount on it, yeah. Because then it becomes an investment instead of you just buying it at market value.
In today's day and age, in the economy we are, you know, you got to be so certain of what you're doing, especially when it comes to something big like buying a house. Because, I mean, there's so much involved. I went through that process as well, and you need to have that savings backup. And this is at least what Mom's taught you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 20-year commitment, so you have to...
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So, and it's also one of the biggest investments you're ever going to do in your life. So you want to make sure you get the fundamentals right and turn it into an investment instead of an emotional decision. As soon as you make it into an emotional decision, you're going to overpay for the house and you're going to overcommit, and it's going to be something that's never going to make you money at the end of the day.
That's it.
That helps.
That helps. I like it. Grant, thank you very much, man.
Awesome,
Very good advice there. Clem, thank you very much for sharing your story
the sofas,
as well. Stay well, have a cup of coffee. There we have it. Your hashtag My Money Story right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We'll be back next week with yet another famous South African personality and find out about their relationship with money.